you want to be famous.
Hmm.
Nobody's clapping for you when you give a stellar performance on set. They're going on to the next shot. So, okay, let's moving on. Nobody's gonna, throw you flowers on stage or anything like that after you've wrapped a scene. You might get a pat on the back, but it's not. You have to love doing it to keep doing it, because yeah, people aren't going to give you as much as you think they are. You have to want to do it.
This is just who they are. This consumes them to the point where they will
Yeah.
sacrifice everything to try to make it happen. Time, money, relationships, doesn't matter.
If I'm in this life phase that I'm in right now, and I have 2 children and I have a husband and I'm in the Midwest, then it's about looking for the opportunities here, and not looking at what everybody else has or all the jobs that they're getting, or where they're succeeding, and look at how can I thrive and be successful and give to the artistic community and learn from this artistic community, where I am at. And then if other opportunities present themselves, you weigh the balance of, is this worth it? Acting is always pushing the limits, is pushing the boundaries. And at some point you're going to have a hard line. And I know what that line is for me, but that might be different for every actor. So I'm not going to tell, one person that you shouldn't do that, one person you should do that. I should tell them that's between you and, your morality, who you're accountable to. Because at the end of the day, that film is forever and people are going to see that potentially forever. So are you going to be able to stand by that forever?
A role in a secular film, then, for any reason. It's kind of a weird word, but
I see opportunity in every character. I see opportunity in nearly every film. And I don't think that, being in a secular film means that your character can't have an element of faith, or that they're wrestling with that, or that they're very overtly living strongly. It might not be in the dialogue, but it could inform your character. Or opposite of that, you could be playing in a faith-based film in which your character is completely a non-believer, and that influences what they do in that film as well. So, I mean, I think it's really important to, again, look at what's real for that character, and is that somebody that you want to portray and play, and can you do it? So whether that's a character who is an addict who never gets out of it and just struggles the whole time, and maybe there's a very sad ending at the end of that film, that can point to an addiction isn't going to offer you hope. And to portray that realistically, knowing that there are people who go through that, is telling a true story. You're a visual storyteller, and you don't want to introduce something fake just to tell the audience something that you think they want to hear. That's not what an actor's job. The actor is to make that so real and so powerful that it causes the viewer to ask questions. And if I can get a viewer, an audience, to ask questions about that, the despair of that, and to think, well, what else is there out for me if that wasn't the answer? Then I think I've done what I needed to do. Or in a faith-based film, you could, comes to a happy ending, and I'm being really dichotomous in this, but it comes to a happy ending, and they're like, well, we have this hope, and that's great, and that can be really encouraging and uplifting to someone who's searching for those answers.
you post
Yeah.
all the time about what
Yeah.
you're doing in your acting. I just did an audition. I just finished shooting. Did whatever it is.
Yeah.
Why do you do this?
So for me, it's about sharing the journey with my friends and, for people who are interested, because I don't ever want to get to a point where, if something really major happened and I booked this, incredible role. I have booked some pretty incredible roles. And I'm really excited after our world circumstances, but and it just shoots you into superstardom or something. This is just one of my motivations, but I just never want to think people would be like, oh, they just got lucky, or it just happened for them. Or they're amazing. They're amazing. They're so great. I want to depict the struggle the successes, the celebrations, the people that have supported me and love me and encouraged me, and bring them into that, because you cannot do this by yourself.
Take whatever you can, and if that means, getting typecast, for example, then so be it.
I don't want all of my roles to look the same. I think if every painter painted the exact same painting every time, people would be bored. I wouldn't want a whole house of my paintings that all look the same in a room. I would want everything to be a reflection of different aspects of who I am or how I see the world. I'm going to choose a role that is meaningful for me. So I'm not just going to apply for every role because I want to be in a movie, or I, want to work with this famous person. Like, every role that I choose, I look at it, I look at the story, or I look at, the description, the synopsis of the film and the character. And I ask myself, either A, does that scare me? So am I afraid to play that person because I don't, it's going to bring something out of me that I don't even know what I'm capable of yet. I always ask myself that question, because it's typically where you're afraid that you're going to deliver a really honest performance.
So it sounds like it's more personal toward what you want to bring to a character than anything else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I grew up, I became a Christian really early on, but I still struggled with all the things that, a non-believer would struggle with. It doesn't exempt you from suffering because you have a hope in Christ, or that you're, are saved. But, you're still going to get cut. You're still going to go through those valleys, those trenches, and you're going to come out with scars. And the thought of just putting myself into a character that pretends like all that didn't happen is so fake to me as a Christian that I would have a really hard time just playing a character who just kind of pretends like everything's okay and their life is so great because, they're a happy wife or a happy mother, a happy Christian. Like, I'm a wife and a mother, and like, it's hard. And the struggle is real every day. And I'm going to bring that to that character. And if the director wants that, that the image or the impression that this, that she doesn't have that element, I probably wouldn't apply for that role. I don't care how much money it's offering. I wouldn't be able to look at that performance on screen and be proud that you just kind of blended in to whatever stereotype Hollywood or faith-based films think you have to have. This doesn't interest me at all. I'm interested in bringing a reality of human struggle and the human life into every character that I play. And if I don't think I can do it, I won't accept the role, or I won't apply for it, because somebody else out there really wants that role, or really, maybe that is really their character. Maybe they really are genuinely like that, or really genuinely love to play those roles. They should have it, but not me.
Oh, how has COVID-19 been affecting your life as far as acting goes?
Oh, wow. I mean, I posted a video on my page. I don't know if you saw it, Chris. It was maybe like a week ago, where I just hit the wall with this. It has been very challenging artistically because I had so many projects, that like several that I would already be filming right now that I just didn't get to. And it felt like I was being denied the opportunity to do what I love. That's what it felt like. Because I had this narrower view of what I thought I needed to do artistically or as an artist to continue to get better. And when I hit that wall, I mean, it's on my Facebook. I just was completely honest and transparent. And, we all have different opinions, and we all have different viewpoints and different experiences that we're bringing to the table when we are going through something like this. And it's valid, it's real, and you don't have to be ashamed about it. You do have to love other people, but we need to be honest with each other. So I did feel the need to share that. After I hit that wall and kind of accepted those emotions and what I was experiencing, and other people being so generous in sharing their responses, their perspectives, that was so important. That was so valuable to me, because I was able to see what they were feeling like. and to hear from them and to know that I wasn't alone as well. I was able to kind of, I guess, in a way, God even opened my eyes to see the opportunities that I think I was like just missing. And, I'd had table reads online, we'd had virtual meetings and talking about the projects I was going to film, but I hadn't actually thought about like, well, what can I do right now? So, I actually started writing. I had been working on a screenplay like half a year ago and just kind of put it on the back burner. So I got that out and just like spent half a day, just locked myself in my room, like during nap time and with kids nap time. It was just like, letting that out, and it was beautiful. And then, these film festivals have been popping up. So I was like, I'm going to do a 1-minute short for a film festival. I'm going to write, direct it, shoot it, star in it, and just get some content out there that's meaningful that might help people at this time. And I got out my guitar, like blew the dust off that thing and was like, okay, let's see if I remember how to do this. And just looking at ways to stretch yourself, stretch your muscles, your artistic muscles, your creative muscles, in ways that you kind of maybe forgot about or neglected.
Is there anything that you would change about the industry if you could?
Well, I think I am changing it. I think actors right now, I think we are changing it. The industry is really shifting towards more diversity, and I think that's been fantastic. And I think that's because actors and casting directors and the entertainment industry as a whole is looking at our world and really seeing the diversity and the talent that is out there and creating opportunities to share that with the world. And as a woman, I'm super, white, so I can't really change anything about my ethnicity or my who I am. But for me personally, like as a woman in the industry, I am looking for how can I give something different to these female roles, to these roles that people would classify as, strong female role, and or a role that somebody wouldn't classify. They just be like, you're just the wife or the girlfriend. Like, that's so offensive. Like that is the person, and they have desires, and they have conflict, and they have richness that they can bring to this. They have something that they can offer. And so for me, it's about shifting the paradigm of what women in film should do and what they should look like. Or if they're going to be tough, that they're robotic or don't feel like for me, unless, you're playing somebody who's sociopathic or like extremely narcissistic, is so false. There's a reason, or there's a process that got you to be that tough, that hard-hearted, but there's still vulnerability and fear. Don't get me wrong. So how can I bring that to that character? I want to bring more humanity and reality about, as a wife, as a mother. I see them in film all the time, and I'm like, that's so not real. Like, that mom is crying in the bathroom right now, like locked away, and then she's gonna go back out there and, or her husband's off in the military. Like, she is fighting. She is a warrior. She is strong. Just different characters like that you would label and showing the reality, the humanity of that. And I think I can add that to Hollywood based on my experiences.
Directors that in your experience, like what is it that you appreciate about them on set?
Mm-hmm. So I love working with directors that are not afraid to tell me that I could do more, I could give more. And I know that might not be everybody's, directorial preference, but I really love it when I give a solid take or I've given excellent performance and I'm thinking to myself, that was really good. Like, I think that communicated what I needed to communicate. I love when that director comes over and says, Leanne, I know that there is more depth. So if you're afraid to give it, you need a couple minutes, I want you to go further, go deeper into that. Because there is a safety net in giving a good performance, but there is a vulnerability and a fear of giving a great performance, because you have to let go And if you don't trust the crew you're working with, if you don't feel safe, you can't do that. But if you're working with a director who's willing to give you the time, willing to give you the space, willing to make sure that you know, whatever that spot is safe for you to emotionally, for me to emotionally let go, that is the most freeing experience.
Some final thoughts that you have, anything that you'd like to share?
That was a lot of really great questions. But don't forget about the bigger picture. Like, you know, like I said, you only get one life. And so, you know, how do you want to use it? And if you're an actor, if it's theater or film, you know, how do you want to impact somebody? You could literally, how I think about it is, I had a director yesterday I was talking to, and he had mentioned this role could be the breakout role of a career. And I mean, I was in tears at this point because he had, you know, full out told me the character description. And I said, with a film like this, it doesn't even matter like how many followers you have or how many, you know, how famous you are. Your art doesn't have to be famous. You don't have to be famous to make something that's worth seeing, to make something that's impactful. And I just said, like, if it saved one life through a performance, I mean, that's worth it. Everything right there. And that's incredibly personal based on some things that have happened in my life. But if I'm given the opportunity to do that through film and I can have an impact on that, then that makes it worth it right there. So look at the bigger picture. Like, why are you doing this? Why is it meaningful for you? What's going to get you through when times are tough? And hold on to that bigger picture and make sure that, you know, that you remind yourself of that often.